Hello everybody, welcome back to Ketchup Court. I go by the name of Heinz, your friendly neighborhood ketchup man, and we are back tonight for another recap of the Donna Adelson trial. We're now in day 6 and things are beginning to, the state had arrested their case today, so they have finished compiling and presenting their evidence to the jury. So we are going to go through all of the witnesses' testimony that the state had put on today to show that Donna Adelson possibly had a role to play. Well, let me not say possibly because it's state theory, but she had an active role to play in this murder, of Dan Markel. So before we go into the presentation of witnesses for today, we are gonna be recapping on the week because we have been here since day one, since this whole trial kicked off, and let's just go through all of the witness testimonies that have given evidence from day 1 to day 5, leading up to here. So without further, let me just ask everyone, make sure that you do like this video as well as share this video with everyone that you know. Let everyone know that we catch up with trials over here, that we bring you all the updates from the courtroom right here on the show, and we discuss the most key parts of the trial. So without further, let's go back into day 1. We saw 5 witnesses being presented on this day. James Geiger, who was the one to have seen Dan Markel, heard the shot that killed Dan Markel. He went over at least twice and then saw that he was dead. He called 911 and that's how we got here. So that was his testimony. He was the neighbor and he was the one that called 911. Then we heard from Sergeant David Sims, who was the officer on the scene who determined that Dan was dead. The most important part of his testimony was that Dan was actually struggling for breath. So there was sign of possible life, but he was already on his way out. And then we heard testimony from Joanne Maltese, who was the crime scene specialist, and she just testified into collecting the projectiles that was analyzed to have found that the bullet was fired from a revolver. And then we heard testimony from Craig Isom, who was the detective, one of the detectives in this particular case. And he just went through all the evidence in regards to the interviews that he done, the communications that he had collected in his investigation, all of those things. That was essentially the bulk of his testimony. Then we heard from Louis Rivera, who was the driver of the Prius. Key parts from his testimony was that they set up 2 hits to try and kill Dan Markel. One was for June and the other was for July. So because the June hit fell through, they had to make sure that the July hit had gone through. So that was the bulk of his testimony. And he also said that the gun that he was using was a revolver, that's the gun that Garcia was using. He also said that Kathryn Magwanwa was the one that gave him the information in regards to needing Dan killed so that Wendi can have the children. So that was the bulk of his particular testimony. Then we heard that was day 1. Day 2, we heard from 4 witnesses on this day. Jason Newland was one of the witness. He went through all the divorce filings and the communications back and forth with Dan Markel, Donna, and also Wendi Adelson. We saw these communications, and we also saw that Donna was not pleased that the divorce had fell through. We saw communications in regards to how she was reacting when she lost when when Wendi had lost the relocation request or motion in the divorce court, we saw that she said that no one messes with the Adelsons. We are going to do, here's what you need to do. Here's the action plan. Make sure you do these things to aggravate him, blah, blah, blah. So that was that was kind of an idea of what his testimony was about. Then we heard from Wendi Adelson, who is the daughter of Donna Adelson. She was asked so many questions. Her testimony was so detailed and referential. But if I was to condense it to the key parts, what came out of her testimony was the denial that she had told Jeff Lacasse, who was her ex-boyfriend, and well, ex-boyfriend now, but at the time it was they were dating after her and Dan had separated, and she was asked whether she had told him that Charlie had decided to get a hitman. She said no, that had never happened, that it was actually a joke that Charlie had made about it being cheaper to hire a hitman than to get a new TV, something along those lines. She was saying those things. She said that the TV had vertical lines on it. It wasn't really smashed up, that it needed a specialist to go and see. She also testified in regards to her not paying attention in the traffic, not paying attention to the road blockage that happened when the crime scene had been set up by the police. She gave a bunch of testimony to a lot of stuff, and that was the bulk of her testimony. She also went into the background, but we're not going to go through that. You can go find these catch-ups in the playlist. I have linked them below. You can go find for day 1 to day 6. We go through each and every one of these testimonies in depth. Then Robert Adelson was up. The key testimony that I could remember, and he's a son of Wendi Adelson, the eldest son. The key testimony that I can remember from his testimony was Wendi telling him that someone went up to Dan and said, "Are you Dan Markel?" and shot him dead. So that was, and also saying that he shouldn't speak to the FBI. And when he said that he had already spoken to the FBI, she said, "Oh, you don't know anything anyway." So that was the bulk of his testimony. And then the next witness after that, the last witness for the day, was Officer Brannon. He was the officer on the scene. He just gave testimony in regards to setting up the blockade and how this particular person in the red, I forgot the make of the car, but essentially it belonged to Wendi Adelson. So he just said that it was kind of weird that all that person did was just turn up and then reversed out, didn't even ask questions, didn't do anything, just turn up and reversed out. So we moved on from day 2 to day 3. This was when 7 witnesses, you heard right, 7 witnesses testified. Jeff Lacasse, Wendy's ex testified gave testimony about how Wendi had asked him, I basically told him, not asked him, sorry, that Wendi had told him that Charlie was planning to hire a hitman to handle the problem that she was having with Dan Markel. He also gave testimony that he did meet Kathryn, and Dan Markel was also there to see was also there when Kathryn was there. So and his testimony as well that just came into my mind that I can't forget is the fact that he said that the rental car, when he was showed it, looks awfully close to the car he owned, which gives the idea that the initial plan was to pin this all on Jeff Lacasse and make it seem like it was because, well, the obvious reason for trying to pin it on him would be that it was an obvious frame job to basically make him take the fall for what had happened. Then we heard from June Umchinda, who is Charlie's ex. She didn't really give much. It was just giving the idea of how Charlie, etc., were reacting to the news of the arrest and all these things going down around 2016 to 2020. That was the time period that she covered. Then we heard testimony from Mary Hall. Let me just pause right here to just say hi to the chat. Hello, Take It to Trial, welcome. Hello, Ketchuppers, I see you. Anne Rufan, welcome as well. Thanks for joining and listening to this. I hope that your stepdad that it wasn't too serious at the doctor's appointments office. So anyway, let's continue. Let's go back to the testimony, to the day 3 recap witnesses. Like I said, Mary Hall had came in to testify, and she was a chief inspector at the general office. She went through the financials. She has more accreditation to research fraud, investigate fraud, all of those things. She came in and testified to the accounts that was made, to the accounts that the Adelson Institute had, the accounts of Donna and I believe Charlie and Kathryn, and also check the accounts of Garcia, Sigfredo Garcia, the person that killed Dan Markel. He was the one that shot Dan, and also Luis Rivera, who was the driver of the car. So she went through all those accounts. The most important part of her testimony was the account of the Adelson Institute, which showed payments that was made to Kathryn Magbanua. Before I continue on, let me know if you're having problems with the stream. On my end, it says that it might not be receiving a lot of bandwidth. So let me know if on your end is good, and I'll try and fix it. She works as a dental assistant, and she basically said that she has never heard of Kathryn Magbanua. Then Kathryn Magbanua came in, and this is Charlie Adelson's ex and the co-conspirator in all of this. She spilled a lot of tea. She basically said that she went to the house to pick up the money. She was the one that ordered the hit. She was the one that approached Louis because they needed the money. So she said that she said that Charlie was looking for someone, was looking for people to handle a job for him, that he had a problem to sort out. And he will pay. So she went looking for Louis, etc. And she said on cross-examination that she was not expecting Louis and Sigfredo to actually go through it. That she thought they were going to hire other people, and there was confusion as well in regards to the amount that was being exchanged or the amount that they agreed to. But that's neither here or there. The point was, her testimony implicated Donna a lot because she was at the same house where the money exchange was happening. She was there at Charlie's house when they were all meeting up on the 19th, where Donna was bringing the money allegedly. So after Kathryn was Christopher Corbitt, and his testimony was quite long, but he presented communications in regards to what happened that day, what happened on the first hit, leading up to the second hit where Dan was unfortunately killed, and then his testimony continued on to the next day where he presented basically more communications to show how they were all acting after the hit was made, where essentially everyone saw locations. For example, the most important part that came out of his testimony was from what I can gather, it was the pinpointing of the trips that Kathryn had made, that Kathryn and Harvey had made to Charlie's house, and approximately it was 1 hour 6 minutes that they stayed at the house. This is enough time to have likely had run into Kathryn McBanoa. So moving on from his testimony, day 4, of course, we know that Christopher Corbitt testified on day 4, but also the undercover FBI agent came in to testify about the bump that happened and what he was basically doing. He basically said that he was playing a gangster, and he essentially had approached Donna and approached the family at a restaurant, etc. Then Louis Bronstein, the special FBI agent, came in. He was the one that was overseeing the project. He basically explained that the idea behind it was to get the gangster to basically say that he knew Louis Rivera and to ask for the money. Very short testimony, nothing much. James McEvelyn, also another short testimony, just gave testimony to the editing of the electronics, nothing really fireworksy. Brian Kendall also testified to going to the to meet with the Adelsons at the restaurant. He was there at the bar recording, and they had basically spotted him. He basically gave testimony that they had spotted him. Patrick Sandford was the special FBI agent that brought in the wiretaps. This was the wiretaps Mubarak. I don't know how you want to call it. Christmas Day come early, whatever you want to call it. This was a massive dump of all the communications. It took a while for all of us here to piece it together. We tried to piece it together on day 5. Day 4 was a bit easier, but day 5 was where the heavy lifting was. But anyway, moving on. Day 4, we learned on day 4 through Patrick Sandford that when Charlie had when Donna had learned of the amount that was being asked to pay up for the blackmail, we learned that she said that he offered, or he was asking for $5,000 for the TV. So he was asking for $5,000 for the TV. We know what the TV code word means. And yeah, so it's just, so in my opinion, so let me try and do something here on my end and see if that changes anything. Let me know if this changes anything. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Thanks for pointing that out just here to watch. Welcome to the stream. It seems like this might be your first time, but yeah. So I apologize for the technicals. I don't know what's happening on my end, but it seems to me that that may have fixed it, but let me know if that has fixed it. All right, I'll continue on anyway, guys. I appreciate the back and forth in regards to the quality of the stream. So as I continue, just let me know, and then I'll try and tweak it. But let's get through this recap. I know it seems like we've been here forever, but this is the whole week that we're trying to recap to bring you up to speed to what's happening today. So anyway, Patrick Sandford, like I said, Donna had informed Charlie about the blackmail that was had. In my opinion, this was the most obvious implication because she literally had the information. And she said it was $5,000 for the TV. So we know that the TV means the hit job, etc. So that was Donna's knowledge. We move on to day 5. We move on to day 5, and this was when Patrick Sandford came back onto the stand, and more wiretaps was done. I've done this was, for more information about this, do watch day 5. But this was the state trying to show everyone's actions when the wiretap was discovered. The state went through from the 20th of April, well, communications from the 20th of April to the 5th of May 2016. the 5th of May 2016 was when Donna had called the agent and told the agent that she doesn't want to pay and he should go and get the reward. But this wasn't until after they were speaking code, trying to figure out who the person was. They even reached out to Garcia in code. Of course, Garcia reached out to Donna, which was understood to mean that he doesn't know who this person is, and it's likely that they're being set up. And they figured it out on the 30th of April. Charlie said the keywords is the pigs, is that they're just trying to stir the pot, words like that. So that was Patrick Sandford was the only witness on for day 5. Day 6, he was back on again, and we're going to be going through his testimony as well as the other witnesses. There was 5 more technically 4 more, but a recall witness was also made. But anyway, point being, there was 5 more witnesses after Patrick Sandford. This was Jonathan Grossman, who was an official from the Miami-Dade office, who was the one securing the warrants for the arrest at the airport when they found Donna. Patricia Byrd, who was Donna's jailmate, came in to testify. Then we heard from Drina. Bernhardt, who was also Donna's jailmate, came in to testify. And I'm gonna laugh here, but if you thought that Christopher Wolfenbarger had, it was weird to have these people with convictions and a jailmate coming to testify, this trial said, "Hold my beer," and presented 2 of them back to back. It was funny. It was hella funny. But then we heard from Kate Butler, who was the senior crime analyst. She was basically analyzing the whole handwriting that was made on the notes. And then we heard finally again from Christopher Corbitt. He was the data analyst. So let's go and dive right into today's witnesses. So before I do that, I just want to check in one more time. I hope that the connection is better now. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's just my settings that just upset things a little bit, but I do hope that it's a lot better now. Let me know in the stream whether it is all good now. Okay. So I just thought I'd check in there. Now let's go into the 1 second. Let me get the stream up. Oh. Bear with me 1 second. Anyway, so let's go into the key parts from the continuation of Patrick Sandford testimony, who felt like a long time, but yes, he is the lead investigator in this particular case. He's the one that oversaw the wiretap, that oversaw basically everything pertinent for this particular case. And he just basically, and what happened during this direct exam, the whole direct exam, was that before they had passed over to the defense, they had established the communications between Donna and her family before her subsequent arrest. So the state had laid the foundation of the arrest that were made to those complicit back in 2016, for those complicit for the hit back in 2016 for the killing of Dan Markel. So they went back to 2016 and showed all the arrests that was made. This was done, in my opinion, to show how the family was reacting, and to show, well, at least their movements as well. They went into details of Kathryn McBanoa, but anyway, let's go into the arrest that was made. So May 16th, 2016. Sigfredo Garcia was arrested. As he testified to, Luis Rivera was already in prison for an unrelated case that was not to this case. So this gives you context that this is how they were able to use Luis Rivera as part of the ruse. And I believe this is how they got to understand that they may have got to understand that they were onto them, because the incarceration had nothing to do with the connection of the murder. So this is how I believe they had also learned when they were trying to search the information. So I'm guessing here, massive guess, but this goes back to the wiretap conversation where they were trying to intercept the meeting between Charlie and Kathryn when they were at the restaurant that they were supposed to go to, another restaurant, but on a WhatsApp conversation they went to Wendy's, but they didn't know that. So I'm guessing from here they may have learned maybe that Louis Rivera was not even arrested for anything to do with this particular case. Anyway, moving on. 1st of October 2016 was when 1st of October 2016 was when Kathryn was arrested, and 21st of April 2022 was when Charlie was arrested. Donna was arrested on November 13th, 2023. Kathryn McBanoa, he testified that she was given a proffer, which means that law enforcement agreed to not use anything that she said to them against her should they go to trial. Kathryn says Kathryn says, according to Patrick Sandford's testimony, she says that she was in Lincoln Road at a party at South Beach meeting with Charlie Adelson, and there was a text message that was sent to Kathryn about meeting him on the 10th. That's how she got to learn about the job that she needs to do. Basically, she admitted that she went to Charlie's house to pick up the money and spend the night there. And the state recalls, the state also went back to Christopher Corbitt's testimony, showing that Donna had messaged at 8:35 on the 19th of July 2024 to say that she was outside the house. So they are basically tying all together to give the impression that Donna knew fully well who Kathryn McBanoa was. So there was also a call that was placed between Donna and Charlie while Charlie was in jail, and Donna thought that she had hung up the phone. So but it didn't. She didn't actually hang up the phone, and everything that she was saying was being picked up on the call. In my opinion, this only I didn't think it revealed much, but it was just showing the conversation between Charlie and Harvey. The only main part that came out here was that they were in communication with Charlie's lawyer, and that was basically it. That they knew who Charlie's lawyer was, and and it seems like he was feeding them information in regards to the case, but there was nothing to show that. So I'm speculating here. She mentions that it was worth. She mentions in the communication, the extended communication, that it was worth to prepare for a trip and try to get to the airport. I'm guessing that this is when they were planning to go to Vietnam. So just for a bit more context, this call happened on the 7th of November 2026, and Charlie was convicted on the 6th of November 2023. So those dates are very important, because the state are gonna go back and the state went back and came back to this again. So we are gonna go through this whole part with a bit more context after all of that. Anyway, she says that Harvey then she says to Harvey that Charlie called her and he was asking how Wendi was holding up, and was basically she was basically panicking to Charlie, saying that she has done so much for Wendi that she can't believe Wendy's test, that she can't believe what Wendi had done to basically put Charlie in prison. And she read out the text that Wendi had said that Wendi had said to her in regards to her role in the trial. Let's go watch that bit really, really quickly because I have quite a bit to say in regards to this testimony.
How's Wendi holding it up? I didn't have the heart to tell him that you never called up or asked about him. I just said we weren't up to phone calls right now. Everyone wants to protect you. I bet you've got a lot to think about. But then she didn't answer. But then I got another call from Charlie. And I said, just got off the phone with Charlie. He is worried about you. He wants to know why we didn't speak. I told him a lie. I said, we're only speaking with you and Dan right now. I couldn't bear to tell them the truth. Your sister never even called us, is the truth. So she said this morning, I thought she'd be racing over here last night. Dear Mom, I know you are upset by the verdict, but the anger directed at me is not justified. I don't know how much anger there. Really don't. I'm not responsible in any way for Charlie's situation. I am not guilty because I did not do anything wrong, and I was not involved in any way with Danny's death. Here she was. When I was interviewed by the police and testified in court, I told the truth, as I was required to do. I cannot control how the prosecutor used my statement to Charlie's trial. Again, I didn't say that. Also, as you know, my lawyer has advised me not to talk to my family or anyone else about this case. Now, about the case, which is true, he's never done it. I followed his advice despite your disagreements with this guidance. Please do not text me about this case anymore. Not about the case, is it? Not what I said. That's her brother. And then one. How are you, Wendi? How's my sister holding up? Yes. If you have anything further to say about the case, please go through our lawyers. Right now, I have to be singularly focused on taking care of the boys during this difficult time. So I wrote back, okay, we have no desire to speak with you about the case. I guess Dad and I are just shocked that you didn't think of coming to see us or even calling us. We are your parents. We are and have always been there for you from the boys. None of what we wrote matters about the case. That's over. I just want you to know how many times Charlie's asked me about you. Not only do you not ask about us, but not one question about Charlie, right? We will need to give you some information shortly, and we need some business assistance.
So that was the bulk. That was the main thing I wanted to get out of that, because as we listen on, Donna could be heard crying and basically sounding very disappointed, saying that her family is cursed, all of those things. But the main point I wanted to get out here is what I could tell from the words being said, all of these things. It seems like the script, whatever may have been prepared, did not work, and Wendi didn't play along. It seems like Wendi was on her own and doing her own thing, and basically done everything possible to have basically get out of this. Now, I don't have any proof of what I'm saying. I didn't even watch the Charlie Adelson trial where she gave testimony, but you know, but I'm already guessing, because based on her answers in this trial, she seems to be doing everything she can to minimize her involvement based on what I've seen in this trial. But other people, I've covered the Charlie Adelson trial, notably Publicly Buzzed. You can go check out his channel. I've left a link on the description. His channel, he is doing Murder Church right now, going through the trial again. Also, trial channel, you can get all of the clips without the breaks and the sidebars, all of those things. You can have all those clips of both Charlie Adelson and Donna Adelson trials. Again, the links are in the description. It's great. It's really good to go back and check out those cases if you maybe want a bit more in depth. I'm considering doing that to see what was happening with the on the Charlie Adelson trial. But yeah, moving on. The state, hey trial channel, welcome to the stream. I appreciate you for joining. So the state highlighted that on the call that Donna and Harvey were planning to travel to Dubai, then Vietnam. The state also highlighted that these were non-extradition countries, and on the 13th of November 2023, the FBI were informed of the plan on the evening of the 13th, November 2023. So they only heard about this from what has come out, that they only heard about this because of this particular call. So they decided to intercept and do whatever they can. Sorry, I didn't mean Donna. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean Donna. I meant to say Wendi. Thanks for that. Correction trial channel. I meant to say Wendi. Wendi testified in Charlie Adelson trial. My bad. I didn't even realize I said that. So going back to the testimony of Patrick Sandford. So he testified to the arrest that was made on that evening when they heard the call, when they saw that there was flight plans made to travel on the 13th, and that evening they went and arrested her. So he also details the arrest and how Donna was not willing to cooperate with law enforcement in regards to handing over her phone. It was it was quite a tense testimony. Then the state also highlighted that the investigation the investigation that Sandford did into the 2014 planner that Donna had back in 2014 was shown that she had information of Dan Markel's registration. Let's go and listen, because this part is if you're looking for any more direct involvement, this would be it.
Redactions have been made based on the parties' agreement, but other than that, I would ask if those excerpts are fair and accurate.
We move on.
Adelson keep a lot of, and even I think some friends in there too.
She did.
Okay. And as part of that information in the 2014 planner, did you locate any information specific to Dan Markel's vehicle?
We did.
What information was that?
Is the 08 Accord on the left middle of the page, right there. It's the 08 Accord, and the tag number is 584YBM.
That's Dan Markel's tag number at the time of his murder?
It is.
Same vehicle that the killers pursued?
That's correct.
The flight that the defendant was attempting to board at the time of her arrest, is that a one-way flight or a round-trip flight?
It was a one-way flight.
No further questions.
Okay.
Cross-examination.
Okay, so the cross-examination, in my opinion, went well for. In my opinion, they this is why I like the person that performed this cross-examination. I like Jackie Fulford. It's the other guy. I forgot his name, Zach Werman or something like that. I forgot his name. But this cross-examination was at least a much better performance from the defense, in my opinion. But they were highlighting but she was highlighting the behaviors of both Charlie and Donna, and how both of them have tendencies to write things down, basically trying to set the groundwork for what she was going to make a point of in regards to how they do things, to basically show that a lot of the things that they had a tendency to do, only one of them did, which was Charlie Adelson talking, but Donna did not, write things down for this particular investigation. But she did write down Dan Markel's registration. I'm guessing they might have something on rebuttal to explain why she would write that. why she would write that down. I'm guessing they might have it to remove that implication, but that was the idea that I got. If she wrote down what happened with Donna, with Dan Markel's license plate, why wouldn't she write down the meeting with the agent, etc.? So that was the idea that I got, that she was trying to go with. The defense also highlights that Charlie was always reassuring of Donna that no one was coming after her and everything was okay, despite Garcia not figuring out who the person was, and Kathryn was also trying to figure out who the blackmailer was. But all through that point, he was always reassuring Donna, and he agreed. So what I saw with this cross-examination was the separation, Donna's idea or mens rea of the case, but Charlie was, they seem to be throwing Charlie completely under the bus, to basically say he was the one that was running around trying to do everything, whilst Donna just had no idea whatsoever. Did she really, just here to watch says, did she really say she was late because she accidentally took a sleeping pill or had to walk it off? I don't know the reference. Let me know what you're referencing so that I can give an answer. So anyway, moving on. The defense also highlighted that Charlie and Kathryn were the only wiretaps collecting for the case, and of course they didn't suspect Donna, so Donna was not essentially the main suspect in my opinion. Oh, okay, I see the shade now. That's pretty funny. Oh my God, you're horrible. Okay, continuing on, the defense laid the foundation. She does look sleepy, I won't lie. The defense laid the foundation of what happened. The defense laid the foundation of what happened before the murder and after the murder, and the police interviews with Wendi and Donna. So this was to basically show that how they were treating the suspect, and she also went into how they were narrowing down. She also went into how I believe she went all of that to set up her next point in regards to the potential suspects, but we are going to get there. So Sandford had agreed that Wendi did tell him about the joke that Charlie had made about about hiring a hitman is cheaper than buying a new TV. Sandford also says that there was numerous persons of interest before they became subjects. So this is the part that I want to get to, that I thought that this was a good cross-examination or a good question to ask on cross in regards to the wiretap that they were having.
And the evidence that's been collected in this case has been for years, right?
Correct.
I mean, we're like, at this point, unfortunately, Mr. Markel has been gone for, is my math right, 11 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the different kinds of evidence that was obtained in this case include a lot of emails.
I'd agree with that.
One witness testified that there were hundreds of thousands of emails that were obtained in this case.
I don't know what another witness testified to this.
No, I'm asking your knowledge. You're aware that there were hundreds of thousands.
I do know that, yes.
Okay. And in addition to having these emails, you also recovered a lot of text messages, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, hundreds of thousands of emails, I can tell you from my experience in this case, that's not easy to go through, is it?
No, ma'am.
So were a lot of people involved in reviewing the emails for the investigation?
TPD had people that reviewed the emails.
Okay. And I'm sure you're not familiar with all hundreds of thousands of them. Is that fair to say?
That's very fair to say.
The ones that have been presented here with the state, and you going over with them, preparing for court, some of them have been introduced into evidence, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And also, in addition to that, there are, even though you don't have recorded calls until the bump, I guess?
That's fair to say. I could be mistaken, but I think that's probably the first recorded
And
calls.
when I say recorded calls, I mean the wire calls. That's what you have, that you've testified to here in court.
We had some wire calls prior to the bump, like
With-
about a week before the bump.
Mr. Rivera, are you referring to?
No, ma'am. We started the wire before the bump.
Okay, give me those dates.
I can refresh my note, look
Please
at my
do.
notes, refresh my memory.
Yeah, please do.
Let's fast forward a little bit.
Started the
Went all,
wire on Mr. Adelson, Mr. Charlie Adelson, and Kathryn McManwell.
and that went all the way through, is it June the 7th?
I should refer to my notes again.
Please do.
I don't have that on my timeline, but that sounds about right. June 7th is when, well, actually, I do have. So we did actually get another couple of wires after Sigfredo was arrested. I'm sorry, after I interviewed Mr. Garcia, he went and bought 2 burner phones, and we went up on those phones also.
Okay.
As he was arrested, I interviewed him, released him, he went and bought 2 burner phones, we went up on those phones also, and then we ended up arresting him, and then shortly after that, we went down on all the wires, on the 2 wires and his 2 burner phones.
Okay. With respect to Charlie Adelson and Kathryn McBanawa, those ended around June the 7th, correct?
Yes, ma'am, I believe that's correct.
Okay. In addition to those recorded calls that you have, you also, in this investigation, have what's called call detail records from even before Mr. Markel was killed, right?
Yes, call detail records showing
Yeah.
the calls back and forth, date and times, just
Two.
records.
You reviewing the emails,
People had to live monitor those calls, we can't just,
Oh, there we go.
so you're talking about them without somebody sitting there
There we go.
and
This
listening.
is- this is the
to them.
part
We
I
have to
wanted.
minimize them as they go.
let's talk about minimizing. Minimizing is when there's a point in a call where something's being discussed that's not relevant to your investigation, is that fair to say?
That's fair.
And so the minimization takes place in that, click, we're not recording that part, we're not listening to the part, how does that work?
Yeah, they hit a button and it stops recording and stops listening.
Okay.
And then they give a certain amount of time, they go back in and start listening again to see if there's anything relevant.
Okay. The reason why I wanted to highlight this is because what she's highlighting here. She didn't say it explicitly, so I don't know the strategy behind that. But what I gather from the concept of minimization is that they could actually miss out some key information that is required for this jury that could have exonerated Donna whatsoever in regards to something that was key for this case. Also, which is why they may basically the truthfulness of the investigation, because if you remember, there are parts that we listened to the wiretap and it got to a certain point, there was that minimization sound, and then it goes to another point. So I think that's what she's trying to go into there, to put into the mind of the jury, that there are parts that they are using their own intuition to decide what's relevant and what's not, even in mid-conversation. So I believe she also asked him questions in regards to him making mistakes. I think that was what she was building up to. So anyway, the defense also highlighted that they didn't consider Jeff Lacasse as a potential suspect, but they did consider him as a person of interest. So of course, if you remember, Jeff Lacasse had said that Dan Markel had said what he said in regards to Wendi Adelson, and Wendi has always denied saying that. So what they're trying to show here, I believe, is that he's probably saying that because of the fact that he doesn't want to be a potential suspect. So that's the main reason why I think that she's highlighting that to basically try and bolster up Wendy's testimony in regards to not telling Jeff about that fact. the defense was also highlighting Kathryn being Charlie and Kathryn being convicted, and how she had lied despite having a proffer. So even though she had the deal in which nothing that she was going to say during the investigation was going to harm her, she still lied. It now puts her credibility on the question, because we saw on her testimony that she wasn't even as forthcoming in regards to the money, and in regards to how they were going to pay these men, and how she thought that Louis and Garcia were not going to be the ones to carry out the hit. But it was obvious that she contacted those guys to carry out the hit. So that was what I gathered from that line of questioning. The defense also highlighted that there was no warrant during the investigation and communications with Kathryn leading up to Donna's arrest. So there was no warrants made at this point. I wish I understood what this angle was, because I don't know how warrants are handled, and the importance of having warrants before arresting somebody for what happened. So the only thing I'm guessing that she could mean is that they listened to the call that she had made for longer without a warrant being made, just because she thought that the call had hung up. Does Charlie, basically speaking, Charlie had hung up, so it doesn't mean that they can now listen to Donna, because Charlie was the one that had hung up, and it's a jail call, so obviously they don't need a warrant for that. But Donna's phone, they need a warrant. So I think that's what she was trying to highlight, to get the jury to basically show a bit of overextension of their power. But I feel like this is more of a argument to be made to a judge rather than, I don't know. But anyway, that's what I gathered from that bit of the highlight. But this is the main point I wanted to get into, and this was in regards to the trip that they took. I thought this was the better part of the cross-examination in regards to the arrest at the Miami airport when when Donna and Harvey were boarding to go to Vietnam. Let's watch.
Those exact. I said there's going to be somebody we're trying to get a warrant for, but yes,
Yeah.
This is happening. This is where we're at with it. Yes.
You have been an investigator for many number of years, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I haven't, and I'm sure my choice of words isn't necessarily going to be yours, but at the end of the day, that's what you had told me.
Pretty much, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And in addition to you as an FBI agent being there at the airport, from the time you got there through the time that Mrs. Adelson was arrested, what other agencies were present and assisting?
Just Miami, I believe it's the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Department, who I believe it was the
Arrested, did they assist at some point?
So yeah, this is the part I wanted. Well, I went too far ahead. There we go.
At the time that you left Tallahassee to go to Miami, were you aware that Donna Adelson's attorney had spoken to the state attorney's office about her ability to travel because there was no warrant?
No, it was not.
Were you aware that as part of this investigation, Mrs. Adelson's attorney was told that if they should get a warrant, that she'd be allowed to turn herself in?
Sustained. Please approach.
Okay, the approach again. But let's move on to the key part. So that part was important because she was allowed to fly. That was the evidence that they were trying to get in, because they had no warrants. She couldn't have been evading the country.
Agent Sandford, I'm showing you what's been marked for identification purposes of Defense Exhibit 60. Would you look at that for a moment before I ask you questions and just kind of review it? And that's Mrs. Adelson, meaning Donna Adelson's visa to travel to Vietnam, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to get out of your space so you can have your own space, and I'll ask you questions.
Okay.
Now, you would agree that's the visa that she obtained to go to Vietnam, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And it was good for entry, valid, now some of it's in Vietnamese, and I don't know Vietnamese, you may,
No,
but
ma'am.
it has it in English, the same information right near the Vietnamese language. Do you see that?
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And the visa was good for entry, valid from November the 13th, 2023, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and it was good until November the 2nd of 2024, right?
If the dates are read right, I would call that February 11th of 2024.
You know what? I forgot that they do it backwards. They don't have them in the same date order. I'm glad you pointed that out to me. So it was until February the 2nd
Yes, ma'am.
of 2024. And that's the 90 days, I guess, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because it was a 90-day visa.
Correct.
And according to the visa, it was issued for the purposes of tourism, right? If you kind of go down.
Yes, ma'am. I see it now.
Okay, so it was for
Tourism. Yes, ma'am.
tourism, right?
Correct.
And the visa was issued, it said it was good for single/multiple entries, right? That's up near the top.
Top. Good for single/multiple entries. Yes, ma'am.
And what that means is it's not that she can travel to Vietnam and once she leaves, she can't come back, right? It means that she can come and go from Vietnam, right?
I'm not sure if that's what that means or not. I don't know.
You're not familiar with that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. May I approach? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Airport and you spoke to the FBI agent there. What did you do next?
Tried to find out what terminal they were at, that they were flying out of, and trying to get to that area. It's a pretty big airport, so we tried to move to that area.
Okay. When you say we, it's this group that you've talked about, someone from the sheriff's office, someone from customs, and yourself?
Probably, there might have been 3 of us, so we had to go through security, so that's a lengthy process to get through security to go back.
Sure. And at some point you got to the gate where they were going to be?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sit down somewhere?
No, I don't believe I sat down.
Did anybody else sit down?
I don't recall.
So you all just kind of stood up around the area of the gate where they were going to leave?
I believe so.
Okay. And you knew what Donna Adelson looked like, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You know what her husband looked like, Harvey, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're there, you're going to obviously recognize them if they're in the general vicinity of the gate, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And at some point, you saw them?
Correct.
Okay. I forgot to ask you this. So the warrant was actually obtained somewhere between 5 and 6. Well, let me say it this way.
I found the right link. My bad. I apologize. Let me find the right link. Okay, here it is.
Issued for the purposes of tourism, right?
Yeah, okay. So here it is.
4 of us that walked together down.
A couple of carry-on bags, right?
Before we got
There we go.
there.
Okay.
There was only like 3 or 4 of us that walked together down there.
So somebody was already at the gate? Is that what
I
you're
believe so, yes, ma'am.
saying? Okay, all right. So they had a couple of carry-on bags, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And I might get the terminology wrong again, but when you go, when they call you up and say, okay, you know, sections, whatever, you can board the flight. Old people, babies, all that stuff, right? They have different calling periods. Is that fair to
Sure.
say? Okay. So they started calling boarding for the flight. At some point, Mrs. Adelson and her husband got in the line to board the flight. Is that right?
That's correct.
And you observed that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And they got in the line and then they, at some point, I don't know what it's called, but they have to show their phone ticket or a physical ticket to somebody to make sure they can go on, right?
I think they scan it maybe. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that's where I call it like a little check-in place to make sure you got your ticket. I don't know what it's called. But then after you've shown your ticket, they let you by to board the plane.
Yes, ma'am.
And the area between where they give their ticket or show their ticket and before they board the plane, is that what you're referring to as a jetway? Is that what you said?
Yes, ma'am. After you scan the ticket in this particular airport, they're all different. This particular airport, they scan their tickets and they walk through these sliding glass doors. And it's like a tunnel that you walk down to go to the plane. Inside that sliding glass doors where the officers were standing waiting. The plainclothes customs officers were inside of that.
Okay, and that's where they were when Mrs. Adelson was arrested?
Correct.
Yeah, she went past the ticket into the jetway,
Yes, ma'am.
not actually get on the plane.
No, ma'am.
But you had the warrant before they got in line, right?
Correct.
And you watched them for however many minutes before they got called up to put their ticket in, right?
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to get them not in a crowd of people, right in the middle of all these people. Wanted to get them kind of separated off, and after they threw the jetway, by themselves over there.
Well, before they started, I mean, when they got in line, then there are a bunch of people right there with them, right?
There were people there with them the whole time. There were people sitting around them.
Right.
Because it's very narrow seating
Right.
where they're sitting, and they were right in the middle of all these people, and then they got in line with all these people. Once they go one at a time, people are going to the plane. Once they went through, those officers just stopped them, pulled them to the side, away from the line, and just began speaking with them.
But when they go through the line, there's a line of people behind them going to get on the plane, right?
That's correct.
So when they go through, the glass doors are going to open, and that's where you're going to take her into custody?
Yes, off to the side, yes, past them, where they're still getting on the plane, but we're past them.
People are getting on the plane, they're coming by through the same general vicinity of where you took her into custody.
Sure.
And those same people were out there while you sat there for however many minutes watching her. Were you could have taken her into custody there too, right?
Sure.
But you
This
didn't.
No, ma'am.
You waited until she went through the little gate, and then you arrested her.
Yes, ma'am.
And
this was that was a great point, and the reason why I'm pointing this out is because they are trying to. Well, the impression that I got from this cross was from this line of questioning anyway was that the police basically let her get onto the plane to create the impression that she was about to run, about to leave the country, avoid extradition when they had a warrant to arrest her. But really and truly, they didn't really have the warrant ready, like until the ticket had already been booked. They didn't have all of those things ready, so she wasn't evading the warrant. Is basically what they're trying to show, because that was the impression that was left on direct examination.
And you went through the little process that you went through, and you said they had 2 carry-on bags, right?
I believe so.
And in your investigation, you learned that with the 2 carry-on bags, they had maybe some additional luggage, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Checked luggage.
right, a couple of pieces, right?
Correct.
And in those couple of pieces, they had just regular clothing, right?
I assume, yes.
They didn't show up with boxes full of clothes.
No.
Okay.
Why would you travel on a one-way ticket to live and leave forever with just 2 carry-on bags? Not a lot of clothes. Good. And I thought that this part was good question, but they are rich, so they're obviously going to, like, they have so much money that when you convert it to the whatever currency that they use in Vietnam, of course it just they can buy their own thing there and start building their life from there. If you want to play devil's advocate, like that's what it means. Like that's the impression that you would get. Like, just because they don't have a carry-on bag going to this country does not mean that they don't have the means to survive in the country once they get there, just because they have 2 carry-on bags. I mean, yeah, that's what I thought.
I never saw the checked on luggage. I have no idea how much they checked.
Okay. So in your investigation, you didn't learn that?
In my investigation, learn what?
That they only had 2 checked bags and 2 carry-ons?
No.
Okay. She obviously had her cell phone, and you've testified that you got that from her.
Yes, ma'am.
And you described this little interaction before she'd give you the cell phone. She didn't fight with you, did she? Like, she wasn't swinging on you.
And she didn't try to hit me, no, ma'am.
You didn't have to take her to the ground and grab it out of her hand.
No, ma'am, I was very gentle.
Okay. You got the phone.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the phone is part of the evidence of what you went on, and somebody downloaded and looked to see what was on it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And her husband, Harvey, he had some credit cards and a little bit of cash, right?
Mr. Adelson? I didn't search Mr. Adelson.
Okay. Did Mrs. Adelson have a bunch of cash on her?
I don't know. I didn't search her.
Okay. So you're not aware of what they got when she was taken into custody?
No.
Okay.
Highlighting the flaws in the investigation, because this would have been key. This part would have been key. Let's hear it. Come on. Stop
I
building
need to
tension.
ask counsel something about your ruling, Judge. Could I have just one moment?
They're gonna ask this question now, I believe. Oh wait, no, they're not gonna ask. They're going on a break. Let's go back.
Everyone can be seated.
Okay.
We'll bring the jurors back in the next 5 minutes. If anyone needs to use the restroom or stretch your legs, please do so now.
Damn it.
And you that
Yes, ma'am.
pieces, boxes full of clothes.
No, my investigation learned what? Mr. Adelson? I didn't search Mr. Adelson.
Okay. Did Mrs. Adelson have a bunch of cash on her?
I don't know, I didn't search her.
Okay. So you're not aware of what they got when she was taken into custody?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so the main reason, the main thing that I highlighted from that question, and this is the part that I wanted, is the fact that they didn't check how much money that they even had, and they had already got that. It seems to me that they didn't have enough power to go in and see how much assets that they have had, and I thought that this was highlighting that if they were planning to move to a different country, there would have been some kind of asset transfer. That was the impression that I got, that they would have been that they would have been carrying at least a reasonable sum of money, but they didn't check to confirm if this was the particular case, because that would be the actions of someone trying to avoid trying to avoid criminal liability through the means of extradition. But that doesn't mean that the state did not come back, because they directly responded in regards to responded and brought back facts in regard to what Charlie Adelson was testifying to, what his defense essentially was, and they used what his defense was in his trial, and they used this particular witness to set up their next set of facts that is going to come in later on. I'm going to go through all of that after we go through this.
Actually going to Kathryn McDaniel. She was just cashing them and then giving the money to extort. Was that another part of that defense was that although they were being extorted, the payroll checks weren't actually going to Kathryn McDaniel. She was just cashing them and then giving the money to somebody else.
That's correct, that's what he said.
Okay, and that's needed to explain why he was so friendly with her, both in those calls and on the text and so forth, right?
It's all to explain everything, yes.
It's not typically going to be sending I love you text to your extortionist, right?
Correct.
So it was, oh, I didn't know she was in on it, but now I realize she is.
Correct, he realized it after the fact, so he said.
Okay, and the killers, according to Charlie Adelson, came to Tallahassee unsolicited, unprovoked. Nobody hired them. They came and just killed Dan Markel, and then hoped to be able to get some money out of Charlie Adelson and Donna Adelson later.
That is what Charlie Adelson said.
Okay, and since Charlie Adelson didn't have enough money in the safe that night, the killers, through the mediator of Kathryn McDaniel, agreed to put him on a layaway plan to pay this money over time.
That's correct, it was a layaway plan for the extortion.
Part of the checks that Donna Adelson signed were the layaway plan to the gang member extortionists.
That's correct, that's what he said.
And you were asked also about the bar mitzvah. Do you know when the bar mitzvah was?
I don't recall.
Okay. Would it refresh your memory to take a look at the defendant's planner for 2014?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not gonna go into that because she essentially, I'm not gonna go into that. But the main point that she's bringing up here is the fact that Charlie had basically said Kathryn was part of the whole hit, and he found out after the fact that she was extorting him too. So they're gonna make a massive meal out of this, but I thought that was important to highlight because that became Donna's defense. And I just, I just thought I highlight that as a preview for what's gonna happen. But I don't think they need to die on this hill in regards to her running away. They don't need that. They don't need to prove that she ran away they don't. It's persuasive, sure, but they don't need to die down this hill. I feel like this bar mitzvah, kind of evidence that's being brought out doesn't really move the needle much. Sure, it's kind of funny because you are booking a one-way ticket, 90-day visa. Of course, you don't have to stay for the whole 90 days of that visa, but you do have 90-day entry. So when people, hopefully the jury are critical thinkers. When they do think that much about it, like no one really stays for the extent of the whole visa. They don't actually stay for the 3 months. Maybe they only got that visa for a particular purpose, and they were probably going to be back by December or January. So I thought that I saw why the state did it, but it's not the end or be all if this part gets disproven. But anyway, moving on to the next witness, because there was lunch break after that, and the witness was done after this. Jonathan Grossman was the next witness up, and he testified to obtain the search warrant that was executed on the 23rd of November at the Adelson's residence, and they had seized a planner that had some writings on it. There was no redirect after this. There was cross-examination in regards to money being around at the residence. I thought that this was mainly highlighting that they didn't plan to leave because they left money on that they didn't plan to take money with them or plan to leave for that long, because cash was at the residence when they had raided it. So there was no redirect after this. The next witness was Patricia Byrd. This was Donna's jailmate, and we're gonna go to the key part of her testimony. But before that, her convicted history was laid out. Obviously, the formalities in regards to the testimony that she was given is that she was not paid for it. But this is what she said in regards to what Donna had been telling her when she got to prison, in regards what Donna had been telling her when she got to prison regarding Dan Markel's death, and also her son Charlie. And let's take a listen.
It's an open pod, it's an open bay where a lot of bunk beds are together.
Okay, so a lot of women are in there together.
Yes,
Okay, so you sleep in the same room as some of these women.
yes,
And how close did you sleep to Donna Adelson?
right next to her.
All right, and if you're in the same pod, do you have your meals together with the other women in the pod?
Yes,
Do you have like your downtime where you're watching TV or reading or writing, all those things together with the same women in the pod?
yes,
When you were in the same pod with Donna Adelson for those months, did you become friendly with her?
yes,
How often would you talk to her?
every day, all day.
Who else was she close to in the pod?
Drina, Bernhardt,
Okay. Did she have a couple of other people she was close to as well?
yes,
Were you and Drina the closest?
yes,
To her, I mean?
yes, ma'am.
Once you and Donna Adelson became close friends, did she ever talk to you about her pending case, this case?
She did.
When y'all would have those conversations, did you ever outright ask her whether she did what she's accused of?
I did.
And what did she say to that?
She said she did. It was to keep her grandkids, but it wasn't supposed to go that far.
Okay, so she said she did do it, and she did it to keep her grandkids,
Yes,
but she didn't expect it to go this far.
yes,
That's all you need to hear. I did it to keep my grandkids. Didn't expect it to go this far. Of course, this goes down to the credibility of the inmates, but there's no honor among thieves. I don't know why. I have no idea why Donna thought that these guys were her friends. I have no idea. like they're gonna taking it on as truth. This is stupid. I can't defend against this. No one can defend against that. Like, I didn't think it was gonna go this far. Of course, now again we're bringing back the conversation with Charlie. $5,000 TV, $5,000, same price that the blackmailer, the undercover agents had quoted to her, and she gave this information to Charlie. Ties up with Patricia Byrd's testimony. Now let's go to the, like, I have hatred for this man that goes by the name of Joel, because Joel's Josh, not Joel, Josh Zerman, the lawyer, because I don't know why on earth he would highlight the fact that Donna was only writing the checks at the Adelson Institute. Let's just listen to this cross-exam.
I'm not sure.
Isn't that what she told you?
Not sure.
Isn't that she testified that my client admitted
There we go.
doing it, and that it was to keep her grandkids, but it wasn't supposed to go that far.
Correct.
Okay. Now, isn't it true that the only thing that she did was write checks to Miss McBanawa?
I'm not sure.
Isn't that what she told you?
Not sure.
That's just, I don't know about you, but that's even worse. That's even worse. She was supposed to write checks to me. You have just brought your client right to the full knowledge of knowing who Kathryn is. She was just right. This is why, and I believe this was a last-ditch attempt by him to try and get ahead of the blackmail defense that they had. But of course, the prosecution was already ahead of that plan. So I don't know why he would go ahead based on what's going to come out later on. I don't know why he would ask this question. But anyway, there was redirect. And after this redirect, they were just talking about Donna's sleeping arrangements at the pod. And the witness was subject to recall by the defense. The next witness was Drina Bernhardt, who was Donna's jailmate as well. So two jailmates that Donna was basically speaking to and confided in. She says that when she was in jail, Donna called her jail daughter and nicknamed her Sunshine. She also says that she would also do, that she herself would also do favors for that Donna would also do favors for her. So she being Drina also goes on to say that she talked about her grandchildren a lot, saying that Donna told her that she was very close with her grandchildren and considered them her children. She says, and I thought that this part was cringe, but she said that she's just interested in getting justice for the Markel family, and says that Donna was worried about Rob's testimony. We heard Rob's testimony. Let's just go to that part really quickly. It's just here.
Clean up her case something that she did a lot, or was it only one time?
It was often.
Okay, so it was something that she was
Doing
talking
a lot.
about daily.
Yes.
Okay. And was it a bunch of different aspects of her case she would talk about, or only one thing?
It was different aspects.
At some point, did you end up reaching out to law enforcement to report some of the things that she had been saying to you about her case?
Yes, I did.
Why did you do that?
Well, initially I did it for selfish reasons, but more that I spent time with Donna, I realized that it was morally correct, and I wanted to get justice for the Markel family.
Okay, so she said that in regards to getting justice for the Markel family, and like the fact that she said she did it for selfish reasons, I actually believe that a lot more, because I don't know, if you are in jail, it's hard. I don't know. It's hard to believe that people in jail that they just have a sudden crisis of conscience and they need to put someone away. Anyway, so she was given a note by Donna on what to say in court and what she was supposed to testify to, and I thought that this note was particularly damning for Donna in every respect you can think of. Let's listen.
That's Donna's, Miss Anderson.
Okay, so she wrote this in your notebook?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is it you were supposed to do with this information?
I was supposed to study it and answer it correctly on the stand for her.
So this is what she wanted you to say in court.
Yes, ma'am.
So for example, how did you know Donna Adelson? You were supposed to say everyone knew her. She's been on the news. I've seen and heard about this on TV shows and read it in the newspaper over the years.
Correct.
Do you read the newspaper?
No.
Okay. Did you know much about her or her case prior to coming in contact with her in the Leon County Jail?
No, ma'am.
And what were you supposed to do with this physical script?
I was supposed to copy it down and give it back to her.
Okay, copy it into your own handwriting?
Yes, ma'am.
So that was the foundation laid. Let's go to the main point of what she was supposed to say on the particular script that she was given to say to the jury if she was to ever come and testify in her defense. So, and she's also subject to recall. I just want to put that clear. So the defense has the option to recall her. Maybe they're going to examine more on all these notes. I have no, well, get more direct information from these notes. I have no idea, but let's watch.
Continues, but she convinced him that the murderers think a woman is paying for this. They don't know Charlie. She told him she wouldn't tell her friends who he is. She can keep him safe. So she was, according to this story, extorting money out of Charlie, but he didn't know it. He thought she was his friend, but really she was his enemy. Is that the deal?
Yes, I suppose that's what it's supposed to be.
All right, and did Kathryn McDaniel ever say any of that to you?
No.
Do you know, are you familiar at all with Charlie Adelson's trial or his trial testimony?
No,
There's a part on here that says, here, she laughed about how easy it was to extort, and extort is underlined. Did you underline that, or did Mrs. Adelson underline that?
I didn't underline it.
Okay. How easy it was to extort him for the money. He wouldn't have to take her out to a fancy dinner. She could buy plenty of fancy dinners with the $1/3 of $1 million. She said she fooled her baby daddy and she fooled Charlie. Sigfredo would do anything for her, and he did. All right, so again, sorry to keep asking the same question, but did Kay say any of this to you?
No.
Okay. Charlie was scared and easy to extort. What a stupid fool. He believed her that she was keeping him safe from the killers. Ha ha, what a joke. Is that the type of language that Kathryn McDaniel would use?
No.
Do you know her well enough to tell this jury that she wouldn't say something like, you know, what a stupid fool, ha ha, what a joke?
Yeah, she wouldn't talk like that.
That's what Mrs. Adelson wanted you to come in and tell this jury.
Yes, ma'am.
Did she?
Okay, that's the same defense as Charlie's defense. That's if you believe this witness, that is the same defense. Interesting that they all decided to go with this extortion defense. Very interesting that they're being extorted for money. We have seen the communications already. So my jaw dropped when I saw this evidence come out. My jaw completely dropped. At first I thought, how do you know that that's Donna's handwriting? How do you know that all this is connected to Donna? And then they brought in a calligraphy expert. We are gonna get to her, but moving on, she says that she would receive packages and that she will receive packages from Donna, and the packages would just be like snack food, which is real estate in prison because you don't get the gas station foods and all that. already showing that Donna had a lot of privileges that comes with her. I don't know how things work in prison, so I don't know how she had that time to make that many friends in prison to have all these connections. But anyway, that's what she says that Donna would give to her in prison. And she also said that she had allowed her to use the phone calls, allowed her to use her phone. So Donna would allow Drina to use her phone to make calls because the phone call in jail were expensive. Yeah, the fact that they both knew KE it is weird. I don't know how. Again, prison is like school. Like, you have so many people. Like, so many people are there. I don't know how it works. I don't know how they would all end up on the same pod. I have no idea how that happened. So I'm guessing this is why the defense has subjected them to recall to basically ask these questions. Hopefully, Jackie Fulford is the one to do it, not that Josh guy. I just keep him away from this case. I don't want him I don't want him going anywhere near these inmates. Let Jackie do the job. Anyway, moving on. She also promised, and this part took me out. She also promised that she will receive a grand piano. Where are you gonna put it? A grand, you know how big a grand piano is? It's those Tom and Jerry pianos, you know, where Jerry Mouse would smash the top of the piano on top of, like, anyway, the grand piano. She was supposed to receive that and also receive $10,000. She was also promised pills and someone that would write her prescriptions because she was a recovering addict. That's what she revealed on the direct exam. She also says that Harvey Adelson, so basically Donnie had told her that Harvey Adelson was to pay her the $10,000 through an app called Zelle. I don't know anything about Zelle. I have heard of it though, but I don't know if it's like an encrypted place. I don't know how it works. But anyway, through an app called Zelle, and they were to communicate through Signal. Yes, Signal strikes again. They were to communicate through Signal to basically sort out this transaction. On cross-examination was fairly quick. The defense only highlighted the possibility that Drina may have been in jail to watch Donna, and as he went through her convictions and violations leading up to being in the pod with her. So that's the impression that I got from the cross-examination that was done by Josh. I don't know his name, but Josh. So yeah, that was and he also highlighted that Donna may have told her to write some of the things, and she says that she wasn't sure if Donna had told her to write some of the things that she had written, that was written for her on the notes. On the redirect exam, it was pretty easy redirect. I don't know why he would do this. I have no idea why he even asked that question in regards to the note, but it was easy because all the defense have to highlight is like, do you have any knowledge of the case? And that's what they highlighted. And she said, no, I don't have any knowledge of the case. So obviously, why would she be saying anything on what to write? And that was basically it. And she basically said that she was hoping to receive favor from her testimony, that's why she has come forward to receive. I thought that this part may have influenced the jury a little bit. I'm thought, well, you are probably going to say anything that's going to be used favorably. So I don't know, but all in all, it was a good testimony. Probably not the most reliable witness considering that they're Joe. But anyway, like I said, the next witness before the last witness was Kate Butler, and she was a senior crime analyst. She was just testifying she specializes in calligraphy and, well, in analyzing handwriting, etc. So she just used that experience to determine that and concluded that Donna had written this particular note that was done. And for some reason, on cross-examination, when Josh said, I hate this guy so much because I don't know why you would ask the question then. If you're saying on cross-examination, I don't know, if you're saying on cross-examination, we were not contending that it was not Donna's handwriting. So why would you ask why would you ask her? I have no idea. But anyway, that was the bulk of her testimony. There was no cross-examination after this, and they recalled Christopher Corbitt. But before I go on to his testimony, I just want to read this from Trial Channel. She says, Zelle is like Venmo or Cash App, just electronic cash out. Okay, fair enough. So it's not like special or anything like that. I need to get those. I need to get an account on those because PayPal is just not cutting it. I don't. I'm not gonna ban. I just don't like it. Anyway, moving on. I thought that was funny too. The woman doesn't come off as a piano player for me. I don't know why would you want a grand piano? I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe she's cultured in and a cultured addict. Who knows? A cultured addict. But yeah, moving on. This was the so Christopher. I misgendered Christopher. Christopher Corbitt returned back to the stand, and he just gave testimony in regards to the handwriting note that was shown of Donna in regards to the murder of their being extorted. Let's listen to his testimony because I thought that this was really important.
Okay, and does that story sound familiar?
It does, yes.
And are you familiar with Charlie Adelson's testimony in his trial in October of 2023?
I am, yes.
Okay. Does the next sentence say, she asked him to give her the $350,000 he was going to pay so his sister could relocate with her children to Miami. He went crazy on her. He said that was going to be an offer to his brother-in-law, not to kill him. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, so according to this story and to Charlie Adelson's story at his trial, no one hired these hitmen to kill Dan Markel, right?
That's correct.
They just did it in their own in hopes of getting paid.
Correct.
All right, looking at the next page. Is this the bottom part of the first page combined with the top part of the second page?
It is, yes.
Okay. Looking at the next sentence, does it say, he threatened me that he was going to go to the police. I told him if he went to the police, these murderers would kill him. And if they don't get you, they'll kill your mom and dad, exclamation point. You should have seen his face, exclamation point. He turned white, exclamation point. He was scared shitless, in quotations.
Yes.
And that's the main part that I wanted from his testimony, because this idea that they both have in regards to, like, it's just I have no idea in regards to Charlie's testimony, but the one thing that I saw was this note writing is similar to what we saw from the jail calls, and it appears that she wrote this to Charlie to basically give testimony, which was apparently this was written a week before Charlie Adelson's testimony began, and and it just gives the idea that they were gonna stick to the same story. So the story and it just gives the idea that Donna is orchestrating everything behind the scenes. The more that we go on, the more the layers just peeled itself. Like, it's been look. After this, they brought in the Google searches that Donna had made in regards, which the Google searches were done a week before the testimony that was done, and the Google searches were about extortion and blackmail. The difference between extortion and blackmail. So she was Googling, let me just try and get the Google search for you. so basically, I think we gone past it. We gone past it anyway. I didn't have the right timestamp anyway. Basically, the Google searches were between extortion and blackmail, and she was trying to learn what it means so that she knows how to basically advise Charlie. Then on November 6th, which we are here now, 4 days after the trial, Wendi and Donna messaged each other about Charlie telling the truth, and they should basically pray. They went back to November 1st, 2023, when the trial was all going on. Donna messaging a host of people in her circle to say the truth is finally coming out. We were being extorted. The truth is coming out. We were being extorted. Told you that was happening. Charlie basically testified to everything that was being said. So there goes the defense of her being helpless writing her checks. Clearly, she's now, you can't explain that away. I'm sorry. She's involved in this completely. And then on the same 1st of November 2023 at 7:22 a.m., Donna says to Wendi that, let me just get it, that he didn't tell her this because it may affect her, that Charlie is telling the truth and is in the hands of the jury. So let me just go to that message so that you can see. It says, I'm sorry this has been our life for so many years. It's been torture, but your lawyer didn't want you to know what happened. I think if you did, our relationship and your with Charlie would have been much different. I hope he knew what he was doing. Your testimony was crucial. Let's see what the rest. Let's see what the rest of us. You know I'm next, but if that won't happen, I'll take care of that. I will take care of that. Of course, we now have that played out. Jailhouse being written. We have their own lawyer, Josh, the mouthy Josh, saying they weren't contesting that Donna wrote the not even helping his client. What the hell, man? The state also goes back to the communications between Charlie, and Kathryn, to basically show that they were basically all good, or to basically show using the N-word now. I didn't even clock that. How Kathryn was using the N-word on Charlie. Oh, wow. Interesting way of discussing each other. Here comes Jim McIntyre with the shovel. In all fairness, that would have been a better defense than this. That would have been a better defense than this. The hitman just decided to kill Dan Markel out of nowhere and ask them for money. But I always care about you. You're my N-word for life. Moving on. So all of this, the messages that they were going through from October after the killing was done, also messages from July after the killing was done, or messages on the 19th of July, there was no mention of extortion and the hitmen wanting money from them. There was not even mentions of extortion from Garcia. Even like Garcia is in direct contact with them. Like, so in my opinion, this now sheds a new light on those wiretaps, because now it shows that they were getting Garcia to do all that he was doing so that it seems like they were extorting them for money. So this has been the play all along since they found out that they were being that they were being watched. I will not be surprised if that is the prosecution's theory going into the opening statements, because we highlighted on day 5 that their theory was that they were planning to kill the hitman. I see an evolution happening. I see a different theory possibly being worked out. So I can't wait to see the closing arguments to see whether it holds up. Anyway, the state continues to show that on that on July 21st, 2016, Katie, Charlie, and Charlie's attorney had met. I met with Katie, Charlie, and Charlie's attorney had met with her, with Donna basically, and Charlie and Charlie had messaged her, letting her know of the meeting. So, and this was a month prior to Sigfredo Garcia being arrested for his role in the killing of Dan. This, in my opinion, was to basically show the connections. What these guys were doing. They were basically speaking with the legal team so that whatever they were talking about could be confidential and it doesn't really step out of the realms of client protections. So they showed communications that was done on WhatsApp. So they explained that they only got this WhatsApp, and I believe that they did this so that they can protect WhatsApp's reputation, in my opinion, because there have been some data breaches that WhatsApp had gone through over the years. But anyway, they only got this data because of the fact that they seized Donna's phone, and from this data, it shows that they were in communication of This data was for the application of the tax and all of that to not tax, the visa to leave to Vietnam. So they were speaking on WhatsApp to sort out the visa to leave to Vietnam. The communications in regards to the verdict, I'm gonna go here because I went too far ahead. But she messaged Wendi. She messaged Wendi to basically let her know of the verdict that was done, and she basically said, your brother protected you for years, now you're not guilty. Your lawyer took very good care of you. You can bury me in the dress that I bought for Lincoln's bar mitzvah. Look at Wendy's reaction. I love you very much. Call if you can. Call if you feel like you can. They all thought that they were going to win this case. And then for some reason, boom. For some reason, Wendi says, I can't speak to you anymore. We have to go through our lawyers now. So she's now on her own. Again, the defense ended with, after going through the WhatsApp messages to basically handle the whole extradition trip to Vietnam, the non-extradition country. After going through the WhatsApp messages to essentially show that, the defense highlights that she has set a reminder, she being Donna, that Donna has set a reminder on her phone to stop all Amazon deliveries. She had also planned to sell her guns, and she messages her friend Annie the same day to let her know that there was an emergency at the place. And these are the Google searches that she made in regards to the countries of extradition, which Vietnam was one of them. And also, this is the message that was sent to the friend Annie, that in regards to what's happening, that they're saying that they had an issue, and this is all in regards to the verdict that was handed down for Charlie. So they thought they were in the clear. That didn't happen. So on on the cross exam, like I said, they didn't need to go into the plans into traveling to Vietnam. They don't need to stay into it. But I gotta give props to my greatest nemesis, my enemy. I hate this man, but I'll give him props. Him highlighting that it's not unusual to stop Amazon deliveries if you're going out of the country or out of town was a good touch. Clears the idea that the Amazon deliveries, is somehow essential to showing that someone is fleeing extradition. So he says that on his own is not an indicator. Well, he, being Christopher Corbitt, says on his own is not an indicator of someone planning to flee. The defense also highlights that there's no evidence of moving assets overseas, and he also agrees with this. Good questions to ask. The defense also returns to communication of Charlie and Kathryn, asking if there was any evidence that Donna was aware of their communications, and he says there was no evidence. So I thought, it was okay cross-examination. The treaty part is not necessary evidence. They don't need that. But on redirect, the state came back to show that Donna, and they were basically highlighting that Charlie and Donna had knowledge of Garcia being arrested, and it was reported in the local news that there was not going to be any further arrest. And when they learned this in regards to how Donna had messaged Charlie saying good news, there will be no arrest, no further arrest. This is when the investigation into the Adelsons started, and that's how we got here. So that was the bulk of the testimony. The state rested their case after this, and in all fairness, my final thoughts on this day, it was absolute. It was the facts that have come out. I did not expect. I thought there was more, but I didn't expect it to end this way, because they have gotten what I thought was an admission of guilt, albeit from an unreliable source, because you don't want to rely on jailmates to be the one that is giving your best testimony. But here we are. So that is the main takeaway. That is the main hook that ties everything in, and it shows a methodical approach to this particular case. The text messages in regards to Charlie, going back to writing the note to Charlie to basically say this is what you have to do. The handwriting that was shown, even though it was introduced as a demonstrative, it does look awfully similar to what he does look awfully similar to what was written to Drina, the cellmate, to essentially say to the jury the same thing has been written by Donna to Charlie. So the extortion does not hold weight, because now we've come to learn that's what Charlie said in his trial. Will the defense call Charlie to testify? I don't know. I thought that the prosecution were gonna end with him. I personally thought that they bring this guy back on, show all of this. I was surprised that they said that the state rest their case. I was like, why are you resting here? Where is Charlie? Because he's your linchpin. He's kind of the guy that ties it all in. But for some reason, the clip comes up in my head where Charlie said in his trial, and like I said, I haven't watched his trial, so I'm not gonna pretend to know any details from it. But there was a viral clip that I saw in preparation of this case, in looking at this case, and when this case was starting to be I think it was during jury selection. I saw a clip of Charlie saying that Donna is just a normal mom. And that's when I just started making my tweets in regards to Donna being a normal mom. So that clip is all I saw. So maybe just maybe that's why they didn't want to call Charlie, because you don't know what he's going to testify to, and if he would even have legs to stand on. Maybe, I have no idea, but I really thought they were going to call him. Rufan says maybe they're leaving Charlie for rebuttal because he's there in jail. Maybe, absolutely, maybe, because if they do call Charlie to come and testify on rebuttal, and that's assuming that the defense are gonna put on a rebuttal. So they said that they are gonna put on a rebuttal on Tuesday. So we shall see. But it has been an amazing week. I mean, this is the first trial I must admit I have really struggled because there were so many details that's given, and I'm trying to like put it all into a timeline, try and create a story out of it. Like, it looks like an easy case presented by the prosecution, but it's really challenging to it's been really challenging to basically get the connection with a lot of the players. But it just seems like I don't know, like, it's, in my opinion, in regards to the legal teams here, in my opinion, both of them, I think that the defense is average, bar Jackie. I like Jackie, but the defense has been average. Like, the prosecution has been leading a lot. Like, I think I said it on day one or day two, that they just ask questions that just sounds leading, but for some reason it's not being objected to from day one. Like, I thought if this was a really good prosecution, like cream of the crop, they wouldn't have been doing something like that. You know, like, it would have been a clean fight. But I gotta look. I stepped back, and I thought they are only really great, or they look great, because the facts that they have from the investigation is airtight. It's literally a well investigated case. But when it's presented in court, and people might I don't know, but when it was brought into court, it's very easy to plan out how to execute the information that they have. But when especially with the wiretap, this is when I saw that maybe the prosecution they're okay. They are great in just getting the facts out, but in terms of technique, especially when it came to the wiretap, I was like, okay, maybe they don't have it, because I was nearly lost. Like, they were moving from timeline to timeline, and there was no context clues. We're now going to this part to show you, okay, we're now gonna go to, I don't know, but anyway, let me not criticize too much. I'm not even a lawyer, but in my opinion, I thought that this, especially for the state case, it was well presented, well investigated case. They have, of course, done due diligence to bring this to case, to bring this to trial. Whether it's enough to just have, because all we have is that she done the money. That's it. Is that enough to tie that she did it before, that this means before the crime? I personally think so, because this means the money that was used, the hitman, it was in a contingency that you do the job, you finish it, we'll give the money to you. By Donna actively being involved in transferring the money, that's our culpability. That's it done. But anyway, Trial says, I think they're just trying to cut to the chase with undisputed facts after 3 trials already. Fair enough. Like, fair enough. Maybe they're better in the previous trials, because I'll be honest, like, there is even a Georgia Cappleman Stan account. So maybe they have made a big name for themselves in bringing this case forward, and they have been way tighter in the previous trials compared to this one. So, but like I said, this is my entry point, and I thought there was a lot that could, like, as the trial went on, I was like, okay, maybe they were not as great as I was singing them praises from the beginning. But that doesn't mean they're bad. They are decent. But from what I saw over time, I was like, sometimes the technique was off. Anyway, like I said, I'm not a professional. I don't even practice. I don't even know law. I know nothing. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you everyone for tuning in for another catch up. Thank you so much for spending and time with me and hanging out with me to catch up on this case. Hopefully you all caught up with everything that happened on day 6 and the week. They are back. They being, the trial basically is going to be back on Tuesday. So it's a long weekend. I hear that it's Labor Day over there in the States. So happy Labor Day. Hopefully you guys enjoy your long weekend. I will be back on Tuesday. To give you updates in regards to what happens on day 7 of this particular trial. So yeah, hopefully I will see you guys then, same time at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Also look out for future uploads because I am working on the Cardi B recap video so that you guys can go check it out. That trial was funny. So, but hopefully that should be done. That should be done very soon. But nonetheless, thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Make sure that you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe as well. For alerts for whenever we go live. Make sure you hit that bell button, and also don't forget to share this stream. And without further, we are out of here. Thank you so much again for tuning in. Bye for now. Thank you everyone for tuning in for another Catch Up Court live stream. Make sure that you smash that like button as well as hitting that subscribe button to be notified of our future live streams. We go live regularly, bringing you case updates and recaps of ongoing trials. So make sure you hurry back on the next live stream. We also have more content on the channel that you can binge on. Check out the playlist that we have showcasing all of these contents. Without further, I go by the name of Heinz, your friendly neighborhood catch-up man, and I'll see you back in court.